Welcome back to the what's the name of it? The Superstar. I'm sorry, I'm sure. Welcome back to the Superstar League of Racing here on ESPN for some more Thursday Night Thunder. It's been a hot minute. This race has been kind of spread out this season, but yeah, we're back, and we're ready for some more action. This time on the short track here in Richmond. Every race this season meant to appeal different types of drivers. We got one short track, one super speedway, one road course, one intermediate, and one more intermediate but slightly smaller, Indianapolis. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Richmond, the best of the best going at it. And look at Hornish showing that he's learned a little something here early on in his stock car racing career. He may be an open wheel guy, but he is running well in second, just behind Harvick, between Harvick and Rusty Wallace here on the start. Now qualifying, the field starting positions it is randomized here, but these guys that know what they're doing are going to try and work their way to the front. As you see Kyle Busch right now being aggressive and working his way through the middle. Chris Mack started further back there as well. He started all the way at the very last line of the field, and he is working his way through the middle as well here, trying to work his way up through the field. He slides up in front of another car, and a lot of people forget he's actually got some good experience here in the late models at this exact racetrack. He's as well as MG Cup Series experience, so he is pretty experienced. And now with the track being as wide as it is, he's one driver that'll go out there, try different lines, see what'll work out. He's figured something out here tonight. As we've seen, some other drivers have made the top side work. Chris Mack goes up there and consistently makes it work. Now trying to get outside of Kyle Busch, just brushes the outside wall. Gonna dive to the high side once again here. Gonna try and figure out how he can roll it. But look at that run, that exit speed, straighter exit, and just absolutely blows past that 5 car, and now hopping down to the bottom of the racetrack. This is absolutely amazing stuff here on the short track. Look at that 97 way up the racetrack, all the way up near the outside wall. Gonna cut back down underneath the 13 of Bobby Gerhart, who's in that car this week. And now 3 wide on the bottom. Washes up, almost cleared himself, but a big time send there, and gets up into the outside wall, trying to get away from some of these guys here. Now Rusty Wallace looking back to the middle. Steve Kinzer, a dirt guy, the only dirt guy in the field, looking to get up there and make some hay. And now, a shot to the back of Hornish. I think he got in there deeper than he really wanted to, and Hornish just happened to be there. Now trying to keep it clean down the back straightaway. Realizes that he did not mean to get into that 8 car, and doesn't want to cause any further issues by just getting up there and beating and banging on him and door slamming him. But Hornish now loses another spot. Chris Mack gains another spot. He's come from the very back of this field to second. We're not even 10 laps into this race yet. That 97 car is insanely fast, and now hot on the trail of Kevin Harvick here, who's loyal to that bottom side of the racetrack. Now most of these guys, as we can start to see, they're starting to take it a little easy, try to conserve their tires here. Chris Mack, he doesn't care about none of that. He's going for it from the start. It's pretty much a shootout. He's like, there ain't no time for us to be saving tires out here. But a lot of these guys think it's necessary to save their tires. Chris Mack running the higher line, carrying that speed on corner exit. Now a wide arc heading down into turn 1. That 97 is looking very well. It was questioned whether or not he belongs here, and it was a questionable decision by money car officials to actually allow him to compete in this series. But he's showing why Papyrus Racing put them in their car, why the series officials believe that he would be able to come out here and race, as he taps the outside wall there. Got in there a little too deep heading into turn 3, loses some ground as he got outside of Harvick. Harvick just holding this line, not worried. Now can we see the young superstar in the making, rather, young star in the making? Can we see him potentially get a clean win over some of the best in the world, or in the country, rather? Or will he choke yet again? Will he get too aggressive? Will he make the move that's not going to work? Will he drive that car past its limit? He's behind Harvick now. Those two is outside. They're side by side for the lead, entering turns 3 and 4. Back down the single file. 97 car once again didn't get a good entry, didn't get the great entry that he needed, but look at how hard he's able to charge into these corners as he gets a bit of a diamond through the corner there. And now back on the bumper of Harvick again. Harvick back to the inside, the 97 up high, trying it again. Can he get it to work this time? By again, got in there a little too deep, couldn't carry that speed on exit, at least not as much as he would have liked. Oh, but he dives underneath Harvick here. I think it was just enough for him there. Now off the turn number 2, Chris Mack is clear of Harvick, and he goes to the race lead. How about that for the 97? And here comes Harvick looking back underneath. Mack goes down, shuts the door, gets a good run as he diamonded the corner once again. That 97 car is on rails here tonight. Can anybody say they were expecting this? Here comes Scott Sharp in the 11 machine, looking underneath the 8 of Sam Hornish Jr. Hornish dropping like a rock, as here comes Elio Castroneves, a former fellow open wheel driver, trying his hand at racing some stock cars here. These Pontiac IROC cars that definitely weren't just stolen from, I don't know, the junkyard or wherever they kept these things after IROC went under. Look at the one of Kurt Busch trying to make something work up high. See, word's getting out of what the leader is doing right now, Chris Mack, going up to the high side of the racetrack. Some of these other guys are trying it, but they're not going anywhere near as high as Mack was going. But we got a big gaggle of cars here as they're all trying to get by Hornish. Frank Kimmel on the bottom has his nose underneath there, but Hornish doing a great job to pinch him down and is keeping that 46 car from getting by. Definitely learned a lot from racing here, both in the past series and in the Grand National Series part-time. How about Jimmy Johnson up high? Struggling early on. Back here in traffic. Hasn't really been able to pass like he'd like to. But he's trying to work his way up there. Scott Dixon underneath. Two names we never thought we'd see side by side here, or even mention in the same breath. But Scott Dixon and Jimmy Johnson side by side for the lead. And now off turn 2. Down the back straightaway. These two are still absolutely going at it here. And now oh boy, the Johnson with the run through the corner. Gained a lot. Now Jimmy falls in line. Kimmel has Tony Stewart behind him. Stewart, one of the best. Frank Kimmel, another decent driver from the past series, but the past series doesn't run at Richmond, so he hasn't really seen this track too much. Just trying to learn what he can. Oh, and Stewart slips, and that allows Kurt Busch to get to his inside. They're side by side for the 10th place spot for a top 10 here. And now Stewart, another run down the back straightaway. Tried the high line through 3 and 4. Is he going to get the momentum down the front stretch? Yes, he does. It's a nice run down the front straightaway there, but Kurt Busch still sticks his nose in, not afraid, not backing down. The 7 of Johnson went way high off turn number 2, pushed way up the racetrack, almost as if he got sent up there. Looked like he might have gotten the bumper from somebody back there, but he was able to gather it back up and bring it back down, or at least keep it off the wall. Chris Mack is in a world of his own, by the way. He almost got into the outside wall. I think he's still pushing to the absolute limit here. But that just shows you that young driver doesn't know anything but go. As he dives down into the corner once again. A little bit of a wiggle heading into turn 1. On the brakes. The car very loose, he's reporting over the radio. Reporting that it's loose on corner entry into turn 1. It's fine everywhere else he goes, but heading down into turn 1, he just gets extremely loose, gets sideways, has to counter steer it, and he's worried he's going to overcorrect that thing up into the outside wall at some point, which, you know, considering he has probably the least amount of real racing experience in general compared to the rest of the field. It's more of he was a sim racer playing NR 2003. And got the opportunity from Papyrus Racing when Fred Jones got injured. Oh, and he's up in the outside wall there. As we mentioned, he is just not able to get in the turns 1 and 2 good. That car jumping out on him. He gets through 3 and 4 pretty well, as you see right there. But 1 and 2 is not it for him. But look at where the tail end of the field is. Mark Martin and who is that? Sam Hornish Jr. fighting for that last spot. Hornish dropped like a rock. He started second in this race, fell all the way back to nearly last place. He's riding 15th right now. 16 cars in the field. Chris Mack coming off turn number 4, complete yet another lap, and he's seeing these guys. He's starting to catch them as we shut up and crank it up. We ride on board with Mack here. You can tell just how loose he is heading into turns 1 and 2. That car, the nose just kind of dives to the bottom of the track in the middle of the corner, but he's managing to hold on to that thing pretty well for what he's dealing with as he comes off turn 4. Kevin Harvick is now 5.5 just about seconds back in that 6 car. Man, Harvick, if you would have told me Kevin Harvick would have been gapped this big by Chris Mack in any kind of race, I would have told you were crazy, let alone a race full of, as I keep mentioning, the best drivers in the United States. We've got drivers from open wheel, drivers from dirt, drivers from here in the MG Cup Series, the Pass Series, the Grand National Series that do well here, even the Truck Series. We're seeing drivers, these are some of the most dominant drivers in the field and most popular drivers. Chris Mack showed up and showed out here tonight, just trying to hang on to that thing. As we mentioned, that car not handling good in turns 1 and 2. Drives like a dream in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 is just horrible for him. No matter how early he tries to let off and hit the brakes and balance that thing out, that thing is dead sideways. You see it right there. You can hear it, the tires screaming there, going through the corner. That's usually something you hear on a road course, but you're hearing it here. Tail of the field, Sam Hornish Jr. a lap down. or about to go a lap down. As Chris Mack comes off turn number 2, he's right there. Hornish entering 3. We got Ryan Newman and Mark Martin side by side here. Martin trying to move his way forward. He got by Hornish. Now trying to get by Newman on the high side. Looking to take a page out of Chris Mack's book. Does so perfectly. Clears Newman before even exiting turn 2. Diamonds down to the bottom. And has a good run on Jimmy Johnson heading down into 3 and 4. Now looking to use that top side once again. To get yet another run. How about this? Side by side, Frank Kimmel, Elio Castroneves. Castroneves drove it in way deep on the high side. Kimmel trying to keep his nose in there. Castroneves a little bit wide on corner exit. That allows Kimmel to get back underneath. And here comes the 9 of Scott Dixon. Here comes the... Is that the 1 of Kurt Busch? Yes, it is. The 1 of Kurt Busch. So the white flag is waving for Chris Mack. 1 lap to go. Sam Hornish Jr. is right there. But it looks like he's going to stay on the lead lap here tonight. Battling in front of your leaders. We're going to have to check back in on that. Because Chris Mack sees the checkered flag and he wins at Richmond in dominant fashion. Or is it dominating fashion? Meanwhile, battling for P10, Castroneves up high, Dixon low, Castroneves with the run. Here comes Kurt Busch, Castroneves, Dixon, Busch, Johnson. What a battle that was at the end there. And that 97 car already on the front straightaway doing burnouts. He cannot believe it. Man, what's up with the smoke? I literally just turned smoke on. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with my NR right now, but I did turn on smoke, and it's still not showing, so it is what it is. But Chris Mack gonna celebrate in style now as he takes a Polish victory lap around this racetrack. We follow him around the track. Quick salute to all of the fans here in attendance. Surprisingly, a packed house, even though it's just for 16 cars. What can I say? This idea is a hit right here. This is a hit. The best of the best going at it. No gimmicks, no games. Just a trophy at the end. And bragging rights. And Chris Mack has certainly earned it, as he parks that thing right on the start-finish line. What a race. A job well done by that 97 car. But that's going to do it. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe. Let's take a look at your points now. I almost forgot. So, yeah, let's not do that. Let's not forget. I'm not sure why Armory Digital was just showing right there. But up next, we're going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a nice little rectangle racetrack, and then ending the season off at Homestead Miami Speedway. Let's see your point standings. Kyle Busch leads the points, as he's been pretty consistent so far. Elio Castroneves, P2, only 21 points back. Rusty Wallace, P3, only 37 points back. Chris Mack there, P4, 40 points back. Kevin Harvick, 62. I mean, all these guys pretty much, aside from, you know, the part-timers in the 13 car, all these guys are still within striking distance. They could all hypothetically win the championship. So don't count anyone out. They're all still in the fight. They're all still in the hunt, and they are all going to push these last couple races. That's going to do it, though. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe. I hope to see y'all next time, and until then, peace.